5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We have ignition. Strap in. You're about to listen to the hottest sounds in the mix.
Mix. What up?
Round of applause. Round of
snaps.
Hey, round of snaps. Hey, that's what I'm talking about.
Yes. We're in the building another week, Dwayne.
Wow.
Episode what?
23.
There we go. Episode 23.
You thought I was going to say 22.
I don't think. Watch last week's show. You'll understand why I wanted to make sure he knew exactly what episode we were in.
I'm ready.
But he ready. He charged.
I'm tonight.
He's charged.
I'm focused. What's going on, people? Shout out to America.
Hey, everybody.
Shout out to the
America.
world. What's going on? Hey,
What
hey. Another Thursday night of a
Yes.
powerful conversation with Whitney
So
and
excited.
Dwayne.
Look how pretty we look over there.
Yeah.
Great.
I love
Yes.
that one. I love that one. That joint is so cool. It's so dope.
I love it. I love
We
it.
just glow in that one right
I
there.
love it. We want to, welcome everyone to another week, Whitney and Dwayne Conversations with Us.
Yeah.
Based off of our book, Mean Authentic You. So shout out to Instagram, our Instagram family.
Yeah.
On our social media handles. Shout out to Facebook, is our InTheMixRadio.com peoples. Thank you for joining us for another week.
Yeah.
Thank you. Woo!
Yeah. We're just so grateful tonight.
Grateful.
We're just so thankful, so grateful, man, for everybody who's been tuning in with us for the last 23 weeks.
Episodes.
The last
Jesus.
23 weeks, man.
Thank
We've been
you, God.
consistent. We've been faithful. We've been kept. Hopefully, we've been a blessing to somebody.
Yeah.
Each Thursday night from 8:30 to 9:30, we have tried our best to at least have conversation that helps you get connected back with your true self, your authentic self,
Yes.
and then with your spirit self, with your relationship with God. If you
That
believe in
connection.
God, that's the most important thing. And then things begin to get clear, make sense. So thank you all for tuning in with us for 22 and now 23 weeks of powerful conversations
Yes.
with Whitney and Dwayne.
Thank you, guys. And like Dwayne said, conversations to connect you with God. And we have our book, Meeting Authentic You,
Yeah.
which our show, that's the inspiration for our podcast. So
Yes,
we're
it
having
is.
all these conversations. Dwayne, show them the book, please. You
Yes,
have
it
it, right?
is. Yes, it is. Yes,
So
it is.
conversations with Whitney and Dwayne, where we're transparent. We talk about things from relationships to starting a business to
Yeah.
starting over, speaking life. We talk about spiritual, talk about the church. We talk about a lot of things in this book. So our podcast is the inspiration. Our book is the inspiration for this podcast.
Tell them where they could get it with.
You can purchase it at Barnes & Nobles, Amazon.com, OutskirtsPress.com. Wherever books are sold, you can get the book. Online, even from us, you can get the book. So please purchase the book and help us support so we can continue investing in you, continue investing in us and what God has put on our heart.
And shout out to everybody who has purchased the book. We
Yeah,
thank you so much for your testimonies, for your, your responses, your reviews. We would love more reviews on Amazon or Barnes & Noble, wherever you can leave a review to let the people know how that book touched you, what it made you think about, how it helped you, whatever it did to you, if it did anything at all. Give us a review. We want to hear from you guys. So thank you so much for those who have actually purchased the book. We appreciate your support and your love and your response to these ideas and this vision that God gave us for this particular book. So once again, if you have not purchased the book, make sure you get a copy of our book, Meeting the Authentic You. I guarantee you that these inspirational messages will help you meet your true authentic version of yourself. And you will end or eradicate a lot of the chaos that's probably going on because you don't know who you are.
Yes, and call in 914. We're going to give you these numbers early. 914-969-6499.
Yeah.
718-705.
Yeah.
4959. I'm going to say that a little bit slowly. 914-969-6499 and
718-705. 4959.
All right.
705-4959 with a 718 area code. Please
Yes.
call in tonight. We will have a wonderful show tonight. We are excited about our special guest that is in the building.
Yes, she is.
Her name is, tell her your name real quick for us, please.
PrettieRICKI.
Yeah, there it is. Say it again one more time, nice and loud.
PrettieRICKI.
Hey, there we go. That's PrettieRICKI
Ain't
is in the
she
building.
pretty?
PrettieRICKI is in the
Yeah,
building.
pretty. She is.
We
She's
got
so
the
pretty.
PrettieRICKI in the building, man. And not only is she pretty, but she's her author. She has her own book.
Yes.
We got some amazing conversation that's going on tonight. We're going to be having discussion with her. We got a great topic of discussion tonight.
Yes,
so
we
please
do.
stay tuned in. Don't just tune in for 2 minutes or 5 minutes, and because we're not saying what you want to hear, you keep scrolling and go to something that's really not going to feed your soul and strengthen your spirit. Stay tuned in with us tonight. Right. Give yourself an hour of power. Don't give yourself 2 minutes of just and then you just go to watch something that's not going to be a blessing to your life. We will have conversation with you tonight that will literally put you in a mindset that will help you make a choice that will set you up to live the rest of your life hopefully blessed, not stressed.
Yes. So, Pretty Ricky, we're gonna we want you to chime in throughout our show, so we don't have to wait till your segment. So, if there's something you want to say, you want to give a holler, go ahead and do that because you are our co-host for this evening. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So it's not just about the segment; you're our co-host. So. Vibe with Me movement. Now, Dwayne got this Vibe with Me movement going on. He got his T-shirt. We gave away 2 T-shirts last week. I also won a T-shirt because I won the bet.
Yes, you did.
So I'll be wearing my T-shirt soon.
Yes, you
did. Tell us about the Vibe with Me movement.
As it is our custom.
Show my Instagram people.
I have to let the people know, man, that the Vibe with Me situation is happening right now. And as I like to do, it is my custom to shout out the many places of people who are tuned into this Vibe with Me movement every morning. I am at your crib, in your car, at your job, at the prison, at the shelter, wherever you are. I am coming to you every morning with this vibe and this energy, giving you this inspiration and this motivation, and most importantly, this word of God. So shout out once again to my people that's in Holland, that's in London, that's in Kenya, Malaysia, right? Canada, South Carolina, North Carolina, Philadelphia, Chicago, California, of course, New York, of course, Harlem and the Bronx, showing me wild love. Shout out to everybody who tunes into these morning videos every day to get this vibe. So what you want to do, if you want to be a part of the vibe and join this army, you want to make sure you get your T-shirt, your hat, or your sweatshirt to join this movement. I promise you, you do not want to not be a part of this army because it is forming and swarming. So thank you, Whit, once again for another opportunity to let the people know about the Vibe with Me movement. That is what is happening with this vibe. People's lives are being transformed and changed. People are leaving the dark and coming into the light. People are leaving hurt and coming into hope. People are giving tests and now giving testimonies. People are going through some changes as a result of this vibe every morning. So that's enough about the Vibe with Me movement right now.
Yes, well, that's good because Vibe with Me, we're going to transition right into Go Get It.
There we go.
Go Get It.
There we go.
2018 is almost here. We're less than 3 months away. Can I snap it up for Go Get It? Can we snap it up for Go Get It 2018?
Yeah.
So, 2018.
I love it.
Transformational speakers, powerhouse speakers. The theme is Celebrate You. You need to be in the building. This is our 3rd annual Go Get It Women's Empowerment Conference. I have some heavy hitters on my bill. You want to say?
Oh, man.
So you want to be in the building. Let me tell you, we got swag bags that we're giving out, raffles that we're giving out. Actually, a couple of sponsors just gave me a couple of items. I'm going to showcase that on my Instagram page. Please come out. Vendors, if you're interested, we're actually opening up some more space for vendors. I'm really kind of booked, but we're adding additional space. So if you're interested, you got to contact me at info@gogetitwomen'sempowermentconference.com or hit me up on my social media handles. Go get it. All right? I started this 3 years ago. I ain't have the funds, but what I did have was the vision. And it was a God vision. So whenever God puts a vision inside of you,
tell him what.
He's going to make it come into fruition.
Tell him
okay?
What.
So if it's something that you can do on your own, that's not a God vision. Okay? God helped me put this. Actually, God just ordered my steps to make his vision come into fruition. So you want to be there November 3rd, 2018. Get your tickets on Eventbrite. It's going to be phenomenal. It's going to be life-changing. It's going to be transformational. You're going to walk out of there saying, you know what? I can do this. I'm celebrating myself. I'm not allowing myself to be in circles that do not appreciate me or can invest in me. I'm not because who you're around is who you are. So come and network and be a part of this movement.
Can you tell them some of the people that's going to be in the building with?
Sure. Let me get a flyer. So here we go. We have.
Yeah, who's the
look
keynote
at Patrick
speaker?
Alvarez on there. Mr. Alvarez. Look. Yeah, Alvarez, you need to get a ticket. How about that? So we got Valencia. Go check her. Now, Pretty Ricky. She actually recommended me Valencia.
Right.
She's like, Whit, you got to get this. You got to get her.
Yeah.
Right.
Powerhouse. So thank you for that, Pretty
Yeah.
Ricky.
Yeah.
That's all right.
That's see, and that's when you connected to the right people, they gonna make sure they add to the vision. Anyway, so Valencia D. Clay, she's a powerhouse,
Amazing.
man.
Follow
She's
her
our
on Instagram.
yeah, follow
Check
her on
out.
Instagram.
See
She's,
her work.
Yes, she's our keynote speaker. She's a teacher. She's a businesswoman, a motivational speaker.
Yeah.
She does a lot for the community and for her kids. You want to check her out. Valencia D. Clay.
Yeah.
Right.
We also have Dwayne Graham. Let me introduce him. Let me.
You could have saved me for last.
I know, I'm going to save you for last. I have Zalex. Zalex is going to be in the building. Priscilla, Michelle, Janie, Dr. Natalie. They're going to be in the building, and they have some presentations that are going to knock you off your feet.
Yeah.
You hear me? I mean, it's going to really do something inside you and convict you. Also, I have 13 honorees who are powerhouses, and they're going to be speaking every now and then. But these are people that you want to be around, that are moving and shaking and have these businesses. Making it happen in education, making it happen in their community, making it happen with entrepreneurship. You want to be in the building.
Yeah.
This is the atmosphere you want to be in,
Yes,
okay?
it is.
Also, I have Dwayne Graham. Let me introduce him later. Wait. The vendors are phenomenal, but I'm done. But I have Dwayne Graham, and he's going to talk about what, Dwayne?
Oh, the dangers of disconnection.
The dangers of disconnection.
The dangers of being disconnected from God. Oh, my God. That's what I'm excited about. I'm loving this whole theme this year for this third year of this Women Empowerment Conference that my sister Whit has put together another year with LaShawn and DJ Miss Chu. Shout out to them. But I thank God for this vision that God has given to Whit for this third annual Go Get It Women's Empowerment Conference that she asked me, yo, bro, can you please come through and give the people some of this vibe and some of this energy? So the topic of conversation that I'm going to be discussing, along with some of the powerful, transformative speakers, is the dangers of disconnection. I'm going to stay calm.
Stay calm. Stay calm.
But you do not
baby
want to
tonight.
miss this conference. Get your ticket, the early bird special,
Yeah.
$75. Contact them at that info site or that place that she just sent you to. Make sure you get it
On our Instagram.
Because you don't want to miss what's going to be said.
You don't want to miss it.
This is a fresh word coming from a place that will change your whole entire life, and then it's going to connect you with the right people. So I'm excited about what's going on with this Go Get It conference.
Yes. So be in the building. Our social media handles is on Instagram. I am Whitney D. Smith.
Yeah.
Also on Facebook, Whitney D. Smith, Whitney Smith. You can definitely find me. Dwayne, give them your social media handles.
D.Graham 3, D.Graham, Graham. The number 3 is on my Instagram page, and then Facebook, Mr. Graham is God's child. Follow me on both of those pages, preferably Instagram, because that's where the most traffic and activity is going on. Right. Check us out on that IG page.
YouTube.
Tune into our YouTube page. Tell them
Subscribe.
the YouTube page with.
YouTube, Convos with Whitney and Dwayne. Please subscribe. We need your support. Also, we're on SoundCloud.
Yeah.
Pretty Ricky. Tell them your social media handles as well.
PrettieRICKI, 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 PrettieRICKI.
Yes.
There we go.
So
once again, give them that info again to book their tickets. Where do they go?
Info at Go Get It Women's Empowerment Conference.com. Oh no.
Pin it for them. Do me a favor with pin it for them because somebody needs to see that.
Go on Eventbrite.
There you go.
I'm
There you
giving
go.
y'all my email address. But go on Eventbrite. I will definitely pin it. If you see your social media handles, you will see everything that is being publicized on our page.
Yeah.
So also check out our Monday Morning Glory conference call that we have every single Monday.
Yes.
Our community where we call in, and Dwayne and I, we pray, we teach, but we also hear from our Monday Morning Glory crew who also participates in our call every single Monday morning, 7 a.m. to 7:15.
Yes.
Call in. You can find our information about the conference call on our social media handles, and also just looking at Facebook and Instagram and in the mix.
Yeah. Shout out to our 30, 40 plus people who call in every Monday morning.
Thank you, Monday morning crew.
Whit and D. Graham.
That's right.
We appreciate you guys. Just check this out, Whit.
What's up?
For the last 5 years, Whit, this is what God been having us do.
I know. I can't.
Praying for people every Monday morning. We've been praying, man, going to God.
I've actually tuned in, and it's amazing.
Thank you.
Wow, thank you so much. PrettieRICKI is just sharing that she is tuned in to let us know that she done vibe with us Monday mornings. We have, we just doing our best to offer up the gifts that God has given to us so we can continue to live the lives that we was called to live. So thank you guys so much for calling in. Monday
leaders.
mornings. Thank you for getting your tickets. Shout out to everybody who purchased the ticket already for this Go Get It Women's Empowerment
thank
Conference
you
for November
all your
3rd.
support.
Thank you everybody who has purchased a t-shirt, purchased a hat. Thank you for everybody who has liked the comment, liked the video, tag somebody in the video. We appreciate all of the support.
Thank you for the love and the support.
Because we understand that a lot of people do not like support or value
A lot
wanting
of
to
people,
help.
and a lot of people don't have it. And I
Yeah.
can understand that they have to pay their bills first, and whatever, they have different obligations. So even thank you for taking that sacrifice out of what you have.
That's good, Whit.
Right.
You
That's
know,
good.
out of what you don't have,
That's
or whatever
good.
the case is.
That's
So
good.
thank you for that.
Thank you.
Now this is a segment where we do our spirit
fine.
check. We check our spirits, and if you can tell, you might have an inkling of where our spirit is.
Yeah.
So Dwayne, how's your spirit?
Let's start
feel?
with the guest first.
Oh, let's start with the guest. Pretty This is a segment where we check our spirits.
Right.
So how's your spirit?
Yeah.
I'm flying high right now.
Flying high.
Hey.
Flying real high right now.
Can we get a hand clap? I like that. Just give me that button, Cruz. I'll keep pressing it. Yes. Okay.
She done tapped into the Jim Jones spirit. We fly high, hey, no
No
lie,
lie,
hey, we
ain't
ballin', ballin', hey. She tapped into the fly high spirit.
I love
today.
it, fly high.
Super duper dope. How you doing with ladies first? How's your spirit?
Man, my spirit is on 10. Okay, it's on heaven, like you say.
Hey.
I have the energy is real. My spirit is just feeling grateful and feeling thankful. I'm just so excited about what God is doing. It's just the energy level is on 10. It's on heaven. It's on the highest. I'm excited about what God is doing. My energy tracks energy. The energy I want my spirit to attract, it's attracting. And it's attracting people who is flying high.
Yeah, that's good, Whit. That's good, Whit. That's good.
Yeah, I'm excited.
That's good.
I'm sorry. I know. It's
Don't
crazy.
ever be sorry for that energy.
I ain't sorry. That's right. I always
Don't
say
ever
I'm
be
sorry.
sorry.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I
no.
hate saying that. I'm not sorry.
Yeah, there you go.
You're not.
There you
My
go.
energy's on 10.
There you
What's
go.
up with you, Dwayne? How's your spirit?
My spirit on tonight is also excited, Whit.
Yeah.
I'm excited. Yeah. I'm going into a birthday this weekend.
Oh, yeah,
and
Saturday.
I'm super. I'm thankful and
40.
grateful. Yeah.
It's a new 30.
Yeah, I'm super thankful and
early
grateful.
birthday.
Thank you so much, Pretty Ricky. Thank you so much. I'm excited because God is just doing some amazing stuff over here
He
with me.
is.
He is doing some amazing stuff, and I'm not saying that to sound churchy or cliche. It's
Right,
just the
but
truth.
It is what it is.
Because what I'm experiencing in this brief spirit check, as we use this to go into our topic of conversation, is the more consistent I stay with my declaration, the more the manifestation of what he has for me continues to be released
That's
into
so
my
true.
life. So for me, I'm excited not only going into another year of being alive, but I'm going into another year of being alive because I understand now why I'm alive.
That purpose.
Oh my God!
When you know your purpose, how good you feel when you know what you're called to do. How good does it feel?
Let me say it again, Whit. I understand why I'm alive. I understand why he kept me. Now, so for me, my spirit is excited. The manifestations are coming
It's real.
through in installments. And I understand that God is an installment God.
Yes,
Because
he
he
is.
understands you can't handle it all at the same time.
Right.
He love you too much to give it to you all at the same
don't
time.
want you to mess
so,
it up.
So he'll give you this right here. Here, manage that.
Let me see how you
and,
gonna steward
and as you
over
manage that, I'm going to give you some more of that over
There
there.
you go,
So
some
for
more.
me, I'm excited
Yeah.
about going into 40 because I
The
understand
40
why
is the
I'm
new 30.
alive.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Come on, I'm ready. We
Round of
ready.
applause,
We
my
ready
brother.
for
Cruz
you.
Avion.
on
I'm
the-
sorry so much. I'm sorry, Erica. Please.
I know.
no.
We ready for you
Thank
on the
you
other
so
side
much.
of this 40.
Thank
we
you
ready
so
for
much.
you.
I'm excited.
We ready for you.
So that's the feelings check. I mean the spirit check right there. We are going into what we call
What's
this thing.
going on?
What's going on?
What's going on? What's going on? What's
Hey,
going on?
hey.
Oh, what's going
Let's
on?
do it.
What's going on?
What's going on? What is going on?
Now,
What
this is
happening?
a segment where we highlight people in our community, business owners, teachers, entrepreneurs, whatever it is you're doing in the community, we highlight you. So if you're interested in being using our show as a platform to get people to know about your brand, let us know. Inbox us so we can feature you on our What's Going On segment. Also, we talk about things that are happening in the community, but around the world. Right. So what we're doing today, though, we have a special guest.
Right.
And this What's Going On segment, we're going to introduce her. And I want her to introduce herself to you.
Yeah.
All right?
Yes.
So there we go. Pretty Ricky. Let's go.
Pretty Ricky, and I am the motivational speaker behind Heart to Heart with RIcka. Please follow that hashtag. That's hashtag heart spelled out to heart with RIcka. So Heart to Heart with RIcka focuses on relationship and bridging the gap between male and female communication so that we can just have a better and healthier relationship with our current partner and our future partners. So just building ourselves up to a point of understanding ourselves and the way we communicate and our pitfalls and the things that we need to know to navigate relationships.
Love it.
This is what I will cover tonight.
Okay.
I'm excited.
You're not just a motivational speaker.
Right.
I like to call it transformational speakers because transformational speakers, people actually transform, they change. So that's why I'm going to call you.
Damn.
Right? So, but in addition to that, what else do you have on your plate?
Well, I'm also the author of Happy Nappy
Okay,
and
let's get this
Stress-Free.
out. Tell us a little bit about the book.
Happy Nappy and Stress-Free talks about a young 14-year-old girl growing up in the Bronx and navigating just like the rough racism and just being a young teen girl going through puberty and falling in love with herself and realizing that there's a way out through education. And so like that's the main focus of this book. It's really
Okay.
dope.
And what's?
I'm sorry.
Oh no. Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, where can they get the book?
Everywhere. So it's available on Amazon.com, Barnes and Noble, everywhere. Every single online bookseller you can find it. You can Google it. Happy, Nappy, and Stress-Free. So it's everywhere and
Everywhere.
And it's also on iBooks, so you can have it on your phone. So there's an ebook and there's a print version.
So
That's cool.
Can I say something, Whit?
Yeah, go ahead.
If you have a 13-year-old, 11-year-old, 12-year-old, 14-year-old, 15-year-old, 16-year-old, 17-year-old daughter
Right.
that you feel you cannot get through to, this is the book that you want to put in your daughter's hand, your niece's hand, your little cousin hand, whoever she is, and you know she look like she going in a direction that she don't need to go into, and you can't get through to her. Put this book inside her hand. Make the sacrifice, make the investment. Make sure you get a copy of this book right here. So hopefully this could be the book that could prevent her from going down the path that you went down that she's not trying to listen to right here. So thank you so much, Pretty Ricky, for your contribution, making a huge difference.
And I also want to say that this book for teenage story about love, how does this relate or can benefit you in your current role, because you wear a lot of hats.
Right.
So what else do you do that can contribute and help foster this this message?
Okay, so when I wrote this book, I was a teacher in the South Bronx. I'm still at work in the South Bronx.
Yes.
Now I'm in leadership.
That's right.
And so this book is actually in our libraries at our school, and I use this in our curriculum. And my scholars, not just the females, but the males love this book.
Yeah, they do.
They can connect
I witnessed it.
with this a lot. They love reading the poems. They think it's really interesting, entertaining, and it's something
cool.
that
I
they
love
can
it.
connect with. And the great thing about this book for educators is that you can definitely use it as a part of your lesson to supplement your lesson and to reach your scholars and still be able to have them read literature. So they're reading literature that they can understand and they can connect with. So it's really, really dope.
Thank you, because I really wanted you to, before we get in the topic of conversation,
Right.
I want them to know why we have you here. You're supposed to be here. You studied and made yourself approved, so to speak.
Right.
So that's why we have her in the building. She's an author and she's doing amazing things. And I have listened to your Heart to Heart with RIcka on relationships and communication, and I benefit from it greatly. I see myself in most of the things that you have. I don't want to say all the things that you have said. So let's get in the topic of conversation. Dwayne, let's get in the topic of conversation.
Round of applause first to the
Round
good
of applause.
sister, Pretty Ricky, for doing some
The
amazing,
Renaissance
phenomenal work.
woman, okay?
You know, being a teacher,
Renaissance.
being a leader, being an author, doing some amazing, powerful stuff, having
Yes.
conversations, giving her contribution to humanity, just
Yeah.
blessing as many people who are open to receive her story, her message, her gift, her sacrifice to God, because she don't got to do it, but she chose to surrender,
Using that
man, and
gift.
tap in and tune in and give her gift to humanity.
five.
So shout out to her for doing an amazing
High
work.
five.
Thank you so much for helping and making your contribution. It is not falling on deaf ears.
Nah.
Somebody's being blessed. So tonight we're going to get, with that said, into the topic of conversation.
Effective communication.
Effective.
And
effective communication. Before we get into that, I really
Okay.
wanted to say that I was inspired by Whitney. I was
Oh,
inspired.
stop.
Yeah,
You
because
guys-
when we were working together, she was author of 2 books, and I remember
thank
her
you.
actually going to do the photo shoot for this book. And being
minute
super
ago.
fly,
Oh, that's so
but
sweet.
also like
Thank you.
recognizing like this is so dope. Like she's able to communicate her thoughts and ideas and put it in book form
Oh,
and get it
thank
to the
you. I
masses
appreciate that.
and do speaking engagements. And I just wanted to create a book that I can use in my classroom.
Oh, I
And
love
so
it. That
was-
connection. I
that
love
was
it.
really
Thank
dope.
you.
So I just wanted to make sure
I think I'm honest. Thank you
actually
so
expressed
much.
that because
Now
I
I'm
was
shy.
inspired by you.
Thank you. Thank
you
you
know
so
that.
much. Okay.
No, I'm
So
that's
let's
dope.
get
Thank
into
you.
it.
So,
Let's get
okay.
into it.
So effective communication.
Yeah.
And we're going to talk about different aspects of
Right.
effective communication. We said active listening, different communication styles, and
Knowing your partner.
and knowing your partner. So
Right.
let's get into topics. So
All right, so
Let's do it. Let's
does
dive right in.
everyone know their communication style?
that's a good. Now, so when you let's define a communication style. So what do you
Right.
mean by that?
All right, so
What does it look like?
what I find out with people in relationships is there's a lot of times where there's a partner that's really outspoken, likes to overshare, and there's a partner that kind of withdrawn and doesn't overshare, doesn't share a lot, right?
Okay.
Some people like to sit with their thoughts and then they'll come back and circle back with whatever it is that we're thinking about and pondering, and this usually happens in an argument. So in an argument, there's either they communicate in a negative form, saying what they don't mean, or they over communicate where it overwhelms their partner.
Okay, that's a
So
good question.
where do you fall in?
Dwayne, where you fall in? Go first. Where's your communication style?
My communication style, if I could add right to the definition, that
ahead.
I'm more of the listener first
Okay.
to understand, so I know how to communicate. Right, so I'm big on listening. I'm not the guy who just has to have his point and get the last word.
Okay.
I'm the guy that wants to get an understanding, so I know how to communicate to be not only clear, but to also be to make sure that I'm understood and that what they're saying is being understood by me. So my style is I guess is one, if I can add to the definition, is one that I listen to understand, so I know how to communicate.
So you're active listener. It sounds like.
Right.
Very much so.
Okay. All right. My communication style is that it depends on the situation, but mostly I'm a person who I have grown into this person.
Right.
So if I'm in an argument or in a topic of conversation,
Right.
I don't retreat. But what I do is I need to make sure I can say I'm an active listener too. So I'm listening to what you're saying, and at the same time, sometimes I need a moment to digest what you're saying, so I understand what you're saying, so I can say, do you mean this or do you feel this way?
Right.
So I need to digest and retreat for a little minute. And sometimes that can be awful for my partner or whoever I'm, dealing with,
Right.
because they may feel that I'm not, I don't feel like what they're talking about is important, but I need to take a step back and let me digest it after I listen to it, so I don't say anything wrong.
So I'm glad that you mentioned that sometimes that might be a deterrent for your partner, because what we need to understand in our communication with other people is the way in which they communicate.
Right.
And so what's happening
good.
a lot of times when we are in relationships is that our partner does not necessarily understand our communication style. And that can cause problems.
They don't know who we are, it
And-
sounds like.
And we don't communicate that, or they don't communicate that, and that causes a breakdown in
good.
the communication. So it's okay to have your debates and have your arguments. Call them debates. It's okay to have your arguments, but it's not effective if you're miscommunicating.
You know what? Can I ask something? So the thing is, I always believe that, if we're going to get, me and my partner, if we're
Right.
going to get into this, we're going to have our disagreements, we're going to have our arguments.
Right.
But my whole thing is, in that argument, I feel like I should say, before we argue, if that makes sense, look, I'm not breaking up with you. We're still going to remain together. This is what it is. But right now, we're going to go through this dispute. Because a lot of people, or a lot of things, or even in my past relationships, it was a sense of, okay, we're at this crossroads, we're having this big argument.
Right.
So our relationship is basically at a point where we might be considering moving on.
Right.
But just because you have an argument, you can set the boundaries or set the tone first, I feel like, before. So the two people don't feel as if they're breaking up. You know what? I'm not breaking up with you. This is what it is. I'm just mad right now. Let's have this dispute, this argument.
But that's keeping in mind that you created that foundation. So the whole point is like having that foundation around communication, because we can't get anywhere if we don't have that foundation, right? And so usually we talk about the foundation of a relationship and we forget that aspect of communication, and that is a valuable foundation of a relationship. So if you've laid that foundation in a relationship and you're not saying this just out of nowhere, sometimes your partner might say, is she being honest at this moment, or is this a part of her, I guess her position or her point to win this argument? You know? Chime in.
Well,
your thoughts.
No, I have a lot of thoughts. Call in 914-969-6499. Shout out to everybody that's on Facebook, Instagram, or in the Mix Radio watching us live.
Right.
But we want to hear from you guys tonight.
Effective
Topic of conversation, effective communication. We want to hear from you guys and what your guys' thoughts are as we have a conversation tonight
with our special guest,
right? With our special guest, PrettieRICKI, discussing, right? Effective conversation, effective communication. And what we're discussing at this particular point of the time of the show is the different styles of communication.
Different styles.
So where we are at this point, or rather me making my point since they're asking me for my contribution, is I want to consider the person's agenda before we start talking about the ability to relate, to be clear on conversation, or rather in conversation.
That's good.
So that's where I am. So sometimes you may think that you're in a relationship, family, friends, or significant other, but they don't have the same agenda as you.
That is
so
good.
Because the agenda is not the same, no matter how clear you are, you will always be ineffective if you're not able to give them what their agenda is. So you can be trying to be true, you could be, authentic, you could be genuine, you can be all of the right things in terms of your style of communicating. But if their agenda for you is not rooted in your well-being, in you evolving,
in your purpose,
and in healing, and you participating in your level up, in your coming up, in your blow up, and you getting, to live this more blessed life and transitioning from struggle into wonderful living, then I don't think that any kind of conversation will ever be effective, because we have to first examine. Not that we will ever know, but I think that sometimes we get hints and we get clues and we get previews and we get glimpses that this person's agenda does not really.
They don't pay attention to the signs.
Have my best. They don't have my best interest at heart.
That's good.
And that goes into understanding your partner. See, like if you know your partner, you know that talking to them won't help anything. It won't change anything that's happening.
There you go. There you go.
That's a part of the communication aspect. Like, first of all, I got to understand how my partner communicates so I can communicate with them better. But also, I have to make sure I know my partner.
Right.
And like you were saying, know
That's
their
big.
real agendas. Because then that will solve a lot of the issues, right?
Yeah.
Because if I know your agenda is not one that is conducive to the growth of our relationship, then it's not a relationship that you want to reside in.
Yeah.
Right. Ooh, a relationship. I like that. I like that terminology. A relationship that you don't want to reside in, live in.
Right.
Because the people who you're connected to, it can make you or break you. So you don't ever want to live in a situation or a relationship that's not for you. That's not a God connection.
Right.
Well, you know what?
I like that.
This is so super dope, right? And it's super dope because these conversations become mirror conversations.
Yeah.
Right.
And I think that, and I said this to you before,
it.
I believe that I think that the reason why sometimes people are a little apprehensive to call in is because people feel like they're exposing themselves. They don't want to
having these conversations though, Dwayne.
Which is the reason why we encourage people to call in, so you can have these conversations.
Right.
But I think because they're not normal, typical conversations that are being held, people are kind of shy or apprehensive. They're ambivalent to want to engage the dialogue. Right. So it makes sense why they're not calling. But it's vital to call in, because then you get an opportunity to become more in tune with yourself.
Right.
And the more in tune you become with yourself, it becomes easier for you to detect hidden, unnecessary, evil, malicious, selfish agendas that makes you see clearly that this is not a relationship you need to be involved in. Right. But because you're not engaged in these kind of conversations, you're disconnected from yourself. You don't see, so you think that who you're connected to is who you're supposed to be with, but they're not supposed to be who you're with, because
this is good conversation.
They're not feeding you. So what happens in those kind of moments is you normalize the chaos. You normalize dysfunction. There it is. That's the word again.
Normalize.
You're normalizing chaos. So you're saying, I love him. I love her.
Right.
But they only beat me 2 times this week. You normalize the dysfunction.
Right.
You know it's not healthy,
Right.
so you don't know
Right.
how
You get
to
used to it.
detect that this person's ability to effectively
It's a norm
communicate
for you.
their style
I
of
preached
communication,
about that
their
Sunday.
style of love. You don't know how to
Actually, I have a
discern
video
or
on that.
detect that it's not healthy for
Yes.
you
Right.
because you're disconnected from yourself.
You know
Right.
what? And you said it, because as you were saying this, and I was actively listening. I was
Digesting.
digesting. I was actively listening, because it all starts with self. How do you communicate with yourself?
Right.
Right? And then how can I communicate with myself? Oh, there's many ways you communicate with yourself. In the things that you put yourself into, in the
Right.
things that you distract you, in the things
Right.
that you invest your time into,
Right.
in the things or the people that you invest your time into. You're communicating with yourself. So how you communicate with yourself? And it starts with self.
It does. And a lot of times
And
people
you
have negative talk with themselves.
There we go.
Break their own self down so that even if they're with a partner that's lifting them up, they can't hear it.
You attract. We always talk about this on the show, and all these things keep coming up because it's all connected.
Right.
You attract who you are, and also like you said, speaking. What you speak, what comes out of your mouth,
Right.
You're communicating to the universe. You're communicating to yourself. And I put up this affirmation today. I think I put the power of I am.
Right.
Right.
That's communicating. So you are what you say. So it all starts with self.
Absolutely.
Can I speak to that real quick, Whit?
Yeah, sure.
Because I love what you just said.
You doing new stuff?
You see me working on myself, right? See, I'm getting better, right? You are what
It's an
you
inside
say.
joke.
Right.
You are what you say, right?
Yeah.
And I wanna expound on that because
We got a call. What you just said?
there we go. Who's on
Somebody's
the line?
calling in.
This Drake 5-star. This Drake 5-star.
We can't.
Dre
wait.
5-star speaking to the phone. You got us on speaker. We need to hear from you. Be clear and be mindful that there's other people calling in. You got a question, what you want to share with us tonight. Thank you for calling in.
Hey,
How you doing?
how are you?
I'm here giving support to Graham because that man right there, he always speaking the truth.
Right.
He always giving up straight up information. He's giving it straight to you raw. He gives it to everybody. He don't discriminate it, you know.
That's what's up. Thank you for that support for D Graham.
So you're going to chime in about effective communication and ways you can kind of build by that communication whenever you're communicating in a relationship?
Repeat that?
Do you got some perspective and some feedback that you want to share regarding the topic of conversation in regards to effective communication tonight, Dre?
Especially
Yeah.
All right.
Give us your perspective.
Give us your-
Be mindful that you got other people who might want to call in, so we not having a preaching sermon. Just give us your perspective. Talk to
Okay.
us.
You know, right now at the end of the day, you know, a lot of us, you know, we think everything is normal. Everything is normal what we're going through today.
Right.
You know, from the time that we are being brought up from all different type of neighborhoods, you know, we gotta look at everything completely different. We gotta be open-minded about things. Taking this 15-minute rule, take the time to think about it before you react.
Right.
It's killer for everybody. You know, at the same time too, relationship, you know, real talk, everybody's in their own positions. Everybody's in different positions. Everybody lives different walks of life. But at the same time, if the communication ain't there, if you ain't open-minded about it, what's the relationship worth, you know? You got to be on the same wavelength, the same way you was just communicating on it. Let that man speak, okay? Because at the end of the day, all the time, truthfully, all the time, he always hitting everything on point. He always hitting that heart. He always hitting your brain. He hits
We ain't letting him
everybody
speak?
when he talks, okay? Let that man talk.
We ain't let him speak.
Oh,
Go ahead.
That's why we not letting you speak enough,
No,
D Graham.
I'm not.
Trust me, I'll let him speak on the show. Watch all the
Let him
shows.
talk. Let that
Yo.
camera shine on him.
Yo,
Look,
Dre,
look,
yo.
hey Dre, 23. Go back to the 22 episodes. He done spoke a lot. Trust me, he get
This
his.
my first time up on here.
Oh.
And at the end of the day, I put my whole Instagram. I sent to my whole Instagram list. Okay.
What you pay? What you pay this dude?
I ain't pay him nothing. He, just he tuned in. He vibing with the energy. Dre, thank you so much
Thank
for
you,
calling
Dre,
in,
for
man.
calling
your
in. Thank you for your
perspective, man.
support.
All day.
Thank you so much, man.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dre.
Check this out, Whit.
Jump us. Whoa,
Okay.
let you talk.
Right?
Thanks, Dre.
So I don't know if you was about to say something before he called in.
I forgot, but I think go ahead. You go
No,
ahead.
you
Say
can
what
go,
you
Ricka,
gonna
if you
say.
want.
It was you that was
That was
gonna
you.
say something.
No, he made me forget what I was going to say.
Good.
All right, so let's get us back on track. But I
So,
want to connect with
go ahead.
something he said.
Okay,
and he
go ahead.
said, like, there are so many things that growing up that we're taught that isn't right.
That's true.
And, and what he's basically saying is you got to unlearn.
Yeah,
That's
that's good.
And in order to be an effective communicator, you got to unlearn some of that negative
that's
ways
good,
that
Rick.
you used to communicate
Uh-huh.
in order to be in a better place to communicate.
That's so
and not
good.
just with your partner, but with your family members, with your friends, just to be a part of being a better human being is being able to communicate effectively.
Yeah.
And so that goes with unlearning, and that goes with getting to a place where you can actually bring in new perspective and new ideas that will actually uplift you and make you a better individual.
You know what? You got to be open, and so it's so key on how life brings you back to your younger years.
Right.
Yeah.
Everything starts with how you grew up, your environment, things that you were exposed to, things that you were taught. Everything in life always brings
Yeah.
you back to
That's
that. And you
good,
got to unlearn a lot of things that you have learned.
Right.
Being transparent. My family, we didn't really know how to communicate. We communicate
Same.
with yelling. We didn't even communicate with, like, my brothers now, they hug me. I'm like, because we didn't do that in my household. We didn't
Same.
hug and say I love you as much as we should have. So they were showing me how to communicate with them and with people and with myself.
That's good, Whit.
Right.
good.
So
Absolutely.
it's a lot of things that we have to
Absolutely.
unlearn so we can do what? Be effective communicators, so we can heal, so we can have we can experience those divine connections, those divine relationships, and be able to identify the right people that's supposed to be in our lives and not
Right.
just the seasonal people.
Right.
Wow.
Uh-oh.
And I never said this on all 22 and now 23 of my shows. but I gotta say this, Whit. I gotta say this, right?
Yeah.
I love you so much for sharing that.
Aw.
Right.
I love no, for real. All jokes aside, because
you love me.
what you just gave birth to in my mind
That
is
was deep. It was deep.
I want credit.
how most families, maybe not all, but most
Absolutely.
problems that we share in our families with this topic, ineffective communication,
Right.
is the spirit. Here it is. Oh God, thank you so much for Whitney tonight. The spirit
Oh, thank you.
of being critical.
Oh,
We're so critical of one another in our families that we don't know how to communicate. That when we do communicate, we criticize.
that's good,
We're
man.
not clear.
That's good,
We
Dwayne.
criticize one another. We don't know how to extend compassion to establish clarity, right, in order to be understood. So when we
good.
are in conversing, rather when we're in conversation, we don't speak to be clear. We speak to be critical.
Critical.
Of what we're doing wrong, what you didn't do, what you should have did.
Right.
And then that trickles on
Right.
down into our relationships.
Right.
So you don't know how to celebrate the person that you're with. You don't know how to encourage the person that you're with, right? Because they're flawed like you. They're probably coming from a critical family. They're coming from a dysfunctional family. They're coming from a broken place. Yeah, they had great accomplishment or success or whatever it is that they had, but we all came from something
All
Right.
came
For
from
the most
something that was
part.
cracked.
that was broken.
Right.
Yeah.
So that spirit of criticism, of criticism, rather, excuse me, that spirit of criticism robs many of us from being able to communicate
Ooh,
effectively.
that's good.
Right.
So if I only communicate with you and I'm only able to tell you what you're doing wrong,
Ooh, that's
but I don't
good.
have the compassion for you to tell you how much I love you, even though I don't agree with you,
That's
Right.
good.
that's the reason why a lot of the relationships don't work.
Right.
right.
Here's the reason why I see so many situations falling apart
Yeah.
that has so much potential because it ended because of the spirit of being critical.
Right.
Yo, and the criticalness, that where self-esteem births from. That's where you feel like you can't do what God is calling
There you go.
you to do.
There you go.
Birth from those things that place. That's where those negative things are birthed from. So that's why we have so many people are feeling in a place of being stagnant and complacent and can't be who God is calling them to be because of the lack of or the critical communication that's been handed down to their family. Let's break these generational.
That's good.
Let's break these generational chains, pitfalls. We want these generational blessings, man. We got to be those game changers. And when we communicate with our partners, with our families, with our kids, we got to be those game changers so we can be effective communicators so our kids don't grow up being broken and having his self-esteem issues, man. It starts with us and looking in the mirror.
Can we name them demons? Can we name them?
You want to name the demons?
Can we name the demons?
Bind them. We want to rebuke and bind and destroy and kill.
Yeah, that too.
Everything those damn demons.
Yeah. Criticism.
Criticism.
That's a demon. In our homes, in our families, and in our relationships.
Lack of love.
Let's name them. Criticism. Pessimism. Very, very negative.
Yes.
You know how hard it is.
Pressure.
Keep going.
Pressure.
Because this is the reason. Because if we really lay out, right, how this thing has been formatted.
It's got some strongholds on people, man.
The structure, the system, the hierarchy of how this thing has been set up, it starts at home. So my relationships, I don't know how to have a healthy, positive, productive, flourishing relationship because coming from the environment that I come from, home, group home, whatever it is. And I'm not saying that it was all bad and wrong, but for the most part, we got criticized for not overachieving. Yeah, that too. Right? So because these spirits robbed us of being able to really embrace ourselves, learn how to love ourselves, we take our brokenness to another person and expect them to give us what family should have gave us.
We looking for love in all the wrong places and looking for love in somebody else. And people smell that vulnerability. Them is wolves in sheep's clothing out there, so they gonna know when you're seeking validation, when you're seeking effective communication, when you're seeking love, because we're so hurt from our past.
Generational.
Curses, man.
So let's not that's what we're doing now. Let's not do what has been done to us.
That's right. I like that.
Let's give solution.
Life.
We've been able to identify the problem. Right. Let's give solution now. The solution is, are you willing now to be whole? Right. Do you want to be healed? Do you want to have
that question?
Do you want to have a love language that gives you a style to communicate effectively?
Yes. Say that again.
Do you want to be whole and be healed so you can develop a love language that can help you communicate effectively?
Yes.
Because if you're not healed and whole, or at least aware of your brokenness and then working towards your healing, there will never be a period for you where you can communicate effectively.
It starts with you. Right. Are you willing to give up the brokenness? Are you tired of being in those same places?
And connecting back to what you were saying about being mirrors now, right? And like being able to recognize when something isn't right,
there
right?
You go.
I can recognize there's a breakdown happening. I can recognize that something's wrong, because a lot of times in relationships what people do is they blame the other person and they neglect to check themselves. And sometimes we got to check ourselves, like, how did I participate in this? What did I do? Because maybe I can't change them and how they communicate, but I can change myself and how I see things, how I perceive things, right? And so first I got to look at myself and say, what am I doing? What did I do? How did I participate in this breakdown? Because first you have to, the first step in everything, right, in order to change is recognizing that there's a need for change. And that's the biggest thing. Being aware of what you need to change first. And then being willing to change that.
That's awesome.
That's good. So number one is being aware.
Right.
Yeah.
Number two is the willingness.
Yeah.
Right.
Are you willing? Or are you ready?
Excuse me. And then number three is the responsibility.
The responsibility. So go a little bit more into responsibility.
I know for myself, let me be transparent now. At this particular point in my life, coming from a family who really also struggled with that spirit of being critical, where all we did was criticize and we critiqued and we found fault with one another, where we didn't really celebrate one another. We didn't really encourage one another. Right. Criticism was the encouragement, but it wasn't encouraging, right? So coming from that to be at this particular point in my life now, where I now have a love language. It's aggressive at times because I want to see myself and those that I love win. I want to see you ascend. I want to see you, aim so high and then work towards getting high. So the responsibility of the piece that I insert into the dialogue is you have to first understand that this entails work.
Right.
Yes.
This isn't something that you just feel and then you just do. No, you have to not just feel it, think it, and then you have to commit yourself to doing this work every day.
Right.
So every day,
repeat until it becomes natural.
And until it becomes your new norm.
Your new norm.
There you go. Because let's say it this way, right? We normalize chaos and dysfunction where the abnormal becomes problematic.
Right.
Where the
Say that,
abnormal.
wait, say that again.
We normalize chaos and dysfunction. Where what we need to learn how to do is make the abnormal normal.
Right.
Normal is what is not normal.
Can I just say, hold your thought, because it's just
Go.
hold that thought. It's just like when you see your situation and you say if you're broke or you're sick, you psych out your mind and how you are. So you change your situation by speaking what you want to see.
Right.
Okay, even if it doesn't look like it, you speak it. So I am healed. I am I don't know, married. I am
wealthy,
breaking chain, wealthy.
rich,
I am
whole.
value. I am whole. You know, I am
Powerful,
walking into destiny.
significant,
Powerful.
important.
Yeah. So you change your language and you speak to what you don't see. You speak to not your current situation. You speak to your future situation where you want to be.
So that's the responsibility that I'm talking about with. Because that entails being responsible enough to speak the opposite of what your circumstance is actually revealing. And the mistakes sometimes that we make, sometimes unknowingly when you're disconnected because you don't know this. All you know is what you're looking at. Right? That too. So you normalize what you're accustomed to. And what you're accustomed to is getting up every day complaining about what's wrong, what's not right, what you don't have, who hurt you, who left you, what didn't go right, how you did this, that, and third, and you got left anyway. So you normalize that. So speaking what you just said doesn't make sense to you. Right. But it does make sense because when you insert faith, spirituality, your connection to God, then it makes sense to say the opposite of what your situation is, even though you feel like a fool saying it.
But then you start saying it, you start believing it. Like the pathological liar. They keep telling all these lies, and at one point they start believing their lies. So it's creating that habit, the habitual. So you got to keep speaking it.
And that's responsibility.
You start believing it, and then watch your situation start to turn.
And that's responsibility. You have to be willing to have the responsibility to speak opposite of what your dysfunction is telling you to be quiet about. Let me say that again.
Yeah.
Your dysfunction is telling you to be quiet.
That's some good conversation.
Be quiet. Don't say nothing.
Wait a minute. Say that again.
Your
dysfunction
just hit me. Is telling you to be quiet.
Dwayne said your dysfunction is telling you to be quiet.
Yeah.
That's good.
You know how many years? Okay, wait.
Okay. Uh-oh. We about to have birth?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I am.
Y'all watched the last episode.
You know how many years? You know how many years I normalized chaos and dysfunction? You know how many years I did not let love me? You know how many years I rejected help and support because I wanted to continue to not embrace the God in me? Do you know how many years I did that? I did that for years. And as a result of it, I became worse. I didn't evolve into this version of myself because I did not want the responsibility to do what is being done now. So I get it. I understand. And what I allowed to happen at that time and over those years is I allowed the enemy, the devil in me. I'm not placing blame on somebody else. The enemy in me, the brokenness in me, to have me become silent about my dysfunction. And what I did was I dressed up struggle. As long as I looked good, I felt good, but it was a false sense of feeling good because I wasn't going nowhere. I wasn't ascending. Testimony. I wasn't growing. I wasn't evolving. I wasn't serving. I wasn't being a blessing to nobody. I wasn't fulfilling what I was created for. So for me, I understand why somebody is in that space where they normalize the dysfunction.
Because the dysfunction starts to feel good too. You can't recognize anything that's functional or good for you because you've been living and residing in a dysfunction. You don't know how to handle it.
Can I say this real quick? Sure.
Yeah, sure.
I just went inside of a facility the other day, yesterday as a matter of fact, speaking engagement. I did a presentation on a program, right? And it was so real because for me to go back inside of a facility after serving time doing 5 years to life in jail, it brought me back in touch with what I once experienced when I was 20 years old. So here's the profound moment. One of the kids that's in the facility, they was out there for a while. We was outside. We wasn't inside of a room. We was outside. It was hot yesterday. And I mean, the sun was beaming. So just imagine a kid being in the sun for hours, 3 hours, somewhere you don't want to be. The kid said this line. He said, yo, man, I'm ready to go lock in. He had enough of being in the sun that he just wanted to be back in his cell.
Ooh.
I remember saying that too. Lock me in. I had enough of this. Just house me is what I said. So you can become so accustomed to the
Ooh.
dysfunction that you asked for the dysfunction. You
Ooh,
asked for the not. You asked
I
for
mean-
it. Yo, just house me.
Ooh, that's deep.
Just lock me back in again.
Because I can't. Ooh, that's
Because this sun is
Damn.
doing.
Damn.
God. Oh God.
Damn.
The sun, the light is doing too
Ooh,
much
you
to
got to
me.
preach.
Oh my God.
Gang,
The light is
go
doing
in.
too much to me.
Jesus.
I don't want this light. Send me back to the dark.
Ah.
Send me back to the dysfunction. I don't want to have no part of this light because I'm so used to the
Yeah,
dark.
that's
Oh
good.
my God. So I can't communicate effectively when I'm used to being in the dark.
dark.
And you know when it's dark and the lights is out, you know what you say in the dark? Shh. Oh my God! You don't want nobody talking to you in the dark.
Yeah.
Be quiet.
Yeah.
When you're in the movie theaters, be quiet. When the
Yeah.
lights is out and you in
You
the
better
bed,
preach.
turn the lights out. Be
Yeah.
quiet. Don't talk. When the lights come back on, you go. Turn that off. Oh my God.
You better
oh God.
preach.
Oh my God.
You
So
better preach.
we understand
That's deep.
tonight
Yo, that's dope.
That's
We
dope,
understand
deep,
tonight
dope,
that
deep.
the reason why people
Somebody's still in the dark.
struggle with ineffective communication is
still in the
because
dark.
they still in the dark.
Still in the dark.
They've been in the dark for so long
Yeah.
that I don't know how to accept light. I don't know how to let love
Break
me.
those chains.
I struggle with love. I don't know how to receive love. I want to be loved. I'm chasing after love, but the love I'm chasing after
It's the wrong
is
love.
chasing after another love that don't love them. So I never will be loved by the love that I'm chasing. Oh my
Jesus.
God. Oh my God. Thank you so
Jesus.
much, God, tonight for
Yo.
this powerful, amazing
gonna do a part-
awareness.
We're going to do a part 2. Dwayne, that was deep.
Oh my God.
That was some good SH stuff. I can't, you know what
my
I mean?
God. Oh
But
my
that
God.
was good, man.
Oh my
That was good. Oh, that was good.
The brother said.
Normalized. He normalized where he.
The brother said,
Yes.
"I'm ready to lock back in."
Ah.
He said, "House me, get me out of this sun."
Turn your camera around.
That's
Ah.
what the young brother said, and it was so.
It is around.
It was so. It was so powerful
Ah.
because I said it too when I was there.
Tag.
I said it too when I
that
was there.
was-
So we can understand tonight as we
know
come
if it's
to a
down.
close.
Yeah, let's
Oh,
come to a
we
close.
can
So
understand tonight
Ah.
the reason why
we need
people
to-
struggle with having
Yeah.
effective communication.
Yeah.
Sometimes you've been so consumed by the dark,
Yeah.
so consumed by the dysfunction, so consumed by the chaos, so consumed by the brokenness, so consumed by not being loved, so consumed with people being so critical of you, so consumed with all of the negativity that you don't know how to communicate effectively. Is the reason why when somebody is communicating to you in love, you misinterpret it for hate. You misinterpret it for somebody's mad with me, they don't like me. No, somebody's trying to snatch you out of the dark that you have normalized, and you don't know how to receive that love, so you return back to the dark, and the only connections and conversations you want to have is about how dark it is. So you complain about the dark, you defend the dark, you fight, you sleep in the dark, you can't stand light,
connected to
you don't
people in
want
the
light,
dark.
you hate light, you don't want to ascend, you don't want the responsibility to co-create with light. Oh my God. So tonight we're gonna have a part 2.
Yeah, we're gonna have a part 2 on this.
Pretty Ricky, you coming back for part
You
2?
gonna come back?
Hey, I'm
Yeah, you
with
gotta
you.
come
I
back.
gotta
She
come
gonna
back.
come back for part 2.
For sure.
Effective
This was
communication. We said number 1 is aware.
Yeah.
To be aware,
2
being
is
willing.
There you go.
And then responsibility, which Dwayne just really expound on. I hope this podcast has been a blessing for somebody. This
Yeah.
has been a blessing for me
Right.
tonight. Helping me heal in some places. This was really good. And we just want to thank everybody for supporting us tonight. Thank you for calling in. And please share this video.
Yeah.
You can go on inthemixradio.com and rewatch it, share it.
There you go.
Facebook, share it as well. Also, I'm going to post some snippets. Please share this because somebody needs to hear this conversation.
Yeah.
Right.
It's going to save somebody's life.
Yeah.
Right, this is
Yeah.
good.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
Let's close out like this, Whit.
Let's close out.
God, we thank you for another night,
Yes.
another opportunity to have great conversation. And tonight, God, we discussed with your help the power of effective conversation, effective communication. And what you revealed tonight, God, was why so many people struggle with being effective in their communication and conversation, because many of them have chosen, unfortunately, unknowingly, darkness. We've been there for so long. God, some of us are even angry and frustrated with you because they feel like you left us in the dark and you didn't come save us, because we don't understand the responsibility that we have to participate in our prayers. So tonight, God, we ask that you be with whoever it is that's in that dark and show them something worthy enough to choose light over dark, so they don't have to die in the dark. They don't have to go to their grave with their dreams still inside of them, God. So tonight we ask that you bless those persons who are struggling with with dysfunction and normalizing pain and hurt and being beat and abused by being critical and being just told that they will never amount to nothing. Tonight, God, we ask that you be with them in their home, in that prison, in that hospital, in that psych ward, on the street, in that home, on the job. Some of these people have high positions. God, the president, God, touch that mind. Oh, God, touch his mind, God. Touch that mind, Father. God. So tonight, God, we ask you for a supernatural move, a mighty move, a powerful move on tonight, God. We love you so much. We thank you for another episode, another night. We ask that you bless the people who allowed us to have this space, Father God. Enrich their territory, bless them with so much more, God, so they could continue to be a blessing to other people like they blessed us, God. We love you. We thank you for our guest tonight. We ask that you bless her, God. Bless her book sales, Lord God. Give her traveling mercies, Lord, and let her be a blessing to so many people around the world, God. We thank you for another amazing conversation. We don't take it for granted, God. We love you. We trust you. We need you, and we can't do it without you. In your son's name, Jesus. Amen.
Amen. All right, y'all. We out. Conversations with Whitney and Dwayne. We out. Pretty Ricky, thank you for jumping.
Thank you so much
Come in. She'll be back next week. We out. Peace.
24 hours a day, 7 days a week. We jamming? Hell yeah, we jamming. InTheMixRadio.com.